Hey everybody, this is DaVirtualBoy, and I'm going to be doing a little demonstration of what I've been doing in my creative mode in Minecraft recently. I'm doing this project called the Chateau of Dreams, and the idea is that I had all this open space, this is where I spawned, and I really wanted to not limit myself with the creativity, because before I was doing the general, make roller coasters and make all that nonsense, but I was like, this isn't what Minecraft is used for. That's very, that's thinking very in the box, which we'll talk about later. But so I decided that I wanted to really just make something impressive, something that I would be proud of, And I feel like making just, the generic roller coaster and the generic, redstone repeater, or something like the slaughterhouse, wouldn't be all that interesting. So, without any schematics, I didn't use World Edit, I did this all by hand. And it's not even done, so... But, without any of those tools, I set out to make, just a thing where I could really express myself. So, I started going out at night, so I'm just gonna hop in the bed really quick, and then, then we'll go on from there. Alright, so back to daytime, it's still raining. Let's enter the chateau, and now it stopped raining after I said something. I am a deity! Alright, well, so the way I started this is, when I first began, I did what many people do. I'm like, oh my god, Minecraft, unlimited stuff, better make a castle. So, I built this original little hub part, this little castle thing, and then I created this, Fountain of Balance, which, that's spelled wrong, and I know, so don't even say anything. And... I was making this, I'm like, this is pretty out of the ordinary, it's got the water, and it's surrounded by water and the lava. And that's a theme you might see more than once in this area, but, you apply it in different ways. And I just thought it would be interesting, like I said before, I didn't want to limit myself. So I decided to make more stuff. So if you take a left, right when you come in the door, you come to this area here. It's called the Gazing Gazebo. You can walk up here, and, you can look out, it looks pretty cool, you got some distance going. I have the render distance set to normal. I got a graphics card and all that nonsense. I can handle it. Blah blah blah. And I think the coolest part of this room is, when the sun rises and sets and the moon, rises and sets. It if you look through here, this little crosshair kind of cross-looking thing, the sun, the moon, and the moon will both center itself as it's coming down, right in the middle. Well, center right in the middle, duh. And it looks really stunning at night and stuff like that. So we're going to head back to the main hub, the main opening room, and we're going to take this second left. Back there is attached to the gazebo if you go there and take a right. So here is the mirror pyramids. And what I did is I made a pyramid in very kind of an Aztec style, and then I mirrored it and put it on top of itself. As you can see when we were down here, if I ever get down there, that it's kind of, has 4 openings and all that. And what I'm going to do eventually is create a second floor to this entire area and have it coming off the top of this also, to kind of mirror the bottom, because, what's a mirror pyramid if it's not mirrored all the way? So that's the way to the gazebo. So let's take a left. Here, once again, it's connected to the gazebo. Like I said, everything's connected, and, I think that's one of the coolest parts. Here's this part called the Mysterious Minecraft now. You catch the Minecraft and it goes, oh, stupid Minecraft. It's supposed to be going the other way, but I guess it doesn't really matter. So we gotta wait for it and catch it when it gets here. I'm using power tracks. There's redstone and all that, so it never slows down, never stops. You go through here, there are different colors. I tried to get colors that are different from each other, so it felt like you were going forward. You weren't just seeing the same colors over and over. And like I said, this infinite loop. It never stops, obviously, infinite. So we got another sign there. So we can either go forward, take a right, but for the same continuity from going forward to go from the front to the back, we're gonna go this way. Down there is the mirror pyramid, and then farther is the gazebo. Here's a really cool little build I made. The concept was interesting. It's called the Sword of the Gods. If you fly up here, you can see that it's shaped like a sword, and that's simply obvious. And when you saw the nighttime flyby, you probably saw it. It stuck out pretty well. And it was just a cool little thing I thought of. It was kind of like a very sword and stone and the scale was interesting. That was fun too, because it was like, oh, we got a giant sword, you know, because kind of nerding out there a little bit. If you go back towards the front and take the first left, you come to this room I like to call the Flow of War and Peace. I had the idea one day to have a room where it was like flowing lava and slowing down and, you know, make something out of it. So I built these 3 descending lava things, the small one there, the one I'm on, and the one here directly to my left. Then I mirrored it over here. And then I made more and more, and eventually I decided to, you know, incorporate water into the whole design. So I did that, and it ended up looking pretty good. I like how it looks. It's very kind of it's very aesthetic. It doesn't really have any, you know, practical application, but I think it looks interesting, and it's a cool thing to look at. So there's the Sword of the Gods room. So if we don't actually get turned around and we go this way, go back towards the Fountain of Balance, you can see here there's a very, very tall tower, reaches the clouds. And this is the Stargazer Observatory. So you can fly up there because it's faster than using the ladders. This concept came to me, it was kind of just like, I wanted an observation deck, you know, something where I could look down and see, you know, all my creation and, you know, all that. I could just, you know, look around and just be kind of astonished, being like, wow, you know, this world is huge, and all this work I've put into it is only, you know, like a speck on a map. And it looks really good at night, too. It's super cool at night. If you go back through here, you can see it's, you know, Fountain of Balance. So if we go back through here, go back to the Swords room, I'm going to take a right out of the Sword room, and I'll come to one of my favorite parts, my chicken farm. As you can see, there are a lot of chickens. I've never taken the time to count them all. But if you're unaware of the mechanic, if you throw eggs, sometimes, you know, chickens will spawn out of them. Like demonstrated there. And it doesn't happen every time, but sorry, chickens. But, you know, when it does, it's kind of like, oh, hey, look, I made a chicken. And make a chicken, 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 make a chicken. Fine. So since being uncooperative, let's do it really fast. Oh, there's one. It's really cool. They can't get out because it's a gate here. I made it with fence and a gate. And I was hanging out with my brother up at his apartment, and I'm like, what can I add to it? You know, my ideas were trying to get stale. I wouldn't have anything that was particularly fun. And then he's like, well, why don't you make a chicken farm? I'm like, a what? He's like, well, you know, a chicken farm, like a ranch. I'm like, all right, I'll try. So I made it, and, you know, it ended up looking really cool. It's a really interesting, very out of the norm kind of thing. And it was really fun to make. It was fun. I made this little lake here. It's only 1 block deep, but, you know, chickens like it. I made a little flower patch and, you know, a little pseudo forest for them to hang out in. Got some torches so they don't get scared at night and stuff like that. But moving on. I love that room, and I could talk about it for hours, but yeah, I'm not going to, because it'd probably be really boring. So here's the secluded arboretum, which is, you know, kind of like a forest kind of thing. And I like this area because it's very serene, it's very nice. And there's a whole lot I don't like about it. I wish I could get this filled up more, but without doing some shenanigans, I wouldn't be able to. But, you know, otherwise, it looks pretty cool. I might be putting grass in soon instead of having just the dirt. That would require me to, you know, take out the entire floor and put, you know, so it's not an immediate project that needs to happen. It's really cool. Okay, it looks really cool at night. Once again, a lot of the stuff is meant to be seen at night, but it's easier to demonstrate the intricacies during the day. Now, if you take a right out of there, you come to another fork, and we're going to take a right. And here's a more abstract kind of room, kind of an idea. It's called a prison of the mind. The idea of this room was like that people tend to, you know, not think outside the box being their own head, you know. And it was kind of just like, you know, a little idea I had. It was kind of doesn't fit with the rest of it, but I mean, you know, I thought it'd be a little interesting thing to make, and I like how it came out. It's very simple, very easy build. Didn't take me much more than half an hour, maybe. And it was just kind of interesting to make. It was more of a conceptual thing than an actual, you know, really interesting room. Maybe it only interests me. I mean, tell me in the comments or something. But alright, so if you take a left out of the arboretum, you come to the Nightmare Coaster. Now, as I was saying before, how roller coasters were kind of, you know, passe and kind of generic thing, I still think they're kind of a staple of the whole creative thing. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get in the way of this one. It's going to bounce that way. We can take a roller coaster ride. And there's the other cart. I was looking for that other cart. So basically the idea of this was a very, it was kind of a dark idea, with the whole idea of dreams and the Chateau of Dreams. I kind of figured, with every dream there's a nightmare. So this is kind of the generic idea of a nightmare, the brimstone, looking thing, which is actually bedrock, and fire. I opted out of using obsidian, because obsidian has kind of a purple tint to it, and makes it look more regal than, scary, in my opinion. So this is what I ended up with, and I'm pretty proud of it. In a small space, it's a pretty expansive roller coaster. It's got twists and turns and ups and downs, and I intended on putting drops, but it ended up being too nonsensical, and I decided against it. Also, these pillars of fire, if you're wondering how I made them, it's not very hard. You build a pillar up from the ground, and you just put lava on top of it, and it flows down it. And if you do it correctly, it won't flow over into other things. But moving on. I just love making things in Minecraft. It's always just so interesting and fun. It's definitely a good creative outlet if you don't, if you're not particularly skilled at painting or drawing or what have you, music or any kind of form of the arts. It's a very cool thing, and you can even, improve your skills as a gamer. Perception is the first person, all that. So if you go north out of the Arboretum, you come to the Athenaeum, which is, a different word for a library. The library, the bookshelves are six vertical, and I don't know how many across. And if you go into this end of the room, you can see a giant window and these enchanting tables, which open up the books, and it looks very fantasy. It looks very kind of like a wizard's library or something like that. One of my favorite parts of this room is the lighting I did, because I didn't want to have the torches, because I think I would, torches are overdone. So I did these lines of glowstone, and it really lights it up well, and it looks classy. I think, in my opinion, as classy as Minecraft can get. And I made these chandeliers. They're very basic. I'll probably improve on them eventually. And you can see how there's sunsets going on. I'm probably gonna go out and look at that, because this is indeed the last room. I definitely intend on adding more. And if you have any ideas, please feel free to leave them in the comments or message me, and all that, and I'll definitely consider or even just put them in. And if I do, I'll credit you with the idea. I'll put a little sign in there, and when I make a video, I'll be sure to mention you. But basically, it's not done yet, because this is a project that I don't think ever will truly be done. There's no real completing this, because I don't think dreams really ever end. It doesn't matter how old you are or how young you are. You never stop having an imagination. And as long as I keep imagining interesting things, I'm gonna keep adding on to it. There's all the ducks. How many ducks there are? Or chicken. Oh man, chicken's a derp. So yeah. So if you have any ideas I could add to this, leave it in the comments. Send me a message, whatever. And yeah. So this is my Chateau of Dreams. This has been DaVirtualBoy. And everyone have a good evening, morning, or whatever you want to have.